Hey, you're watching Annie Learning English. I'm Annie. I'm a learner of English. This is the third video of my channel. In this video, I am going to share a little bit more about why I love English so much. If you've watched the first video, the introduction, I mentioned that I really love the language and I hope that I could continue learning English. For me, I grew up speaking a native hometown language. Let's call it language watermelon. So I speak language watermelon ever since I was young, like my native language. It is a spoken language, so you get to use the language only orally, but there's no writing system, I think. Then I was told that I should learn a second language, and at that time I didn't realize it was actually a foreign language to me, or it was a second language to be acquired purposefully. I just did what I was told to do. It was after many years, like 10 or 20 or perhaps 30 years, that I realized hey, English is my third language. It is the third language that I speak. Now, it is arguable whether language watermelon could be considered as a language. I'm calling it a language because I think as long as you can use a systematic way of communication to communicate with people around you, it counts as a language. So that's language watermelon. And the second language, which is not my favorite, let's just put it this way, and I'm going to give it a name as well. I'm going to call it language tomato. I don't know why I came up with this name, but perhaps I ate tomato today too much. I actually ate tomato fired with onion. Oh, sorry. I'm moving back to the languages. So I speak language watermelon as my native language, and then I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it. I learned language tomato. Now, when I was learning language tomato, it was also part of the compulsory study that we had to learn English. I didn't like it because the way we were taught English was incorrect. Perhaps it could be it could cause argument. It could be arguable again that I'm calling something incorrect. So to be precise, in my view, the way English was taught to me at school, it was not designed. It does not look like it was designed to help people actually. Well, it didn't work. Let's just say this. I could barely communicate with people, but I still got a feeling I also got the feeling about the magic of English. That happened when I was in college. I watched a lot of American produced series like Friends, The Big Bang Theory, Breaking Bad, like that. So at that time I felt a bit positive about English. Another thing that really got into my head, it was when I was studying the law. So I was preparing for the law exam. Not in England, but in a different place, in different language. Perhaps you've guessed it, but let me just pretend like I'm not going to like explain more. So I was preparing for the law exam, and part of the exam is about international law. So you've got to learn things like international payment. We call it public-private law. I'm not sure how it is actually called in English, because my legal study in England only covered 8 main subjects. So I'm not sure how to call international law. So I learned what the kind of like basic legal rules when it comes to international trade. And if you send cargo, if you send the goods over the sea, they have a specific system of describing the contractual terms. It aims to help buyers and sellers solve the complicated process. It aims to speed up the transaction process, and it is called Incoterms. It was part of my study, and I couldn't understand a lot of it in language tomato, so I studied it in English. And to my surprise, when I read it in English, it made a lot of sense to me. It should be the first time in my memory when I realized that, wow, English is a lot easier to understand compared to my native language. And at that time, I thought language tomato is my native language. Like I explained, it took me a very long time to realize that my native language is actually language watermelon. So at that time I was telling myself, well, if I could pass the law exam, if I could find a job, have enough free time, I am going to study English. That opportunity came in many years later. It eventually landed in 2019. It was when I was like about 2017, in the year 2017 to 2019, in those 2 years, I was juggling. I was trying all sorts of different ways. I was thinking, well, should I learn English? What kind of like a level of English? How do I want to? What do I want to achieve? What do I want? Like at that time, I was thinking questions like this a lot. In 2019, something important happened. I finally decided that I wanted to learn English with no goals. Like I would just try to learn it. I don't know how far I can go. I'm moving towards that direction. That is where I want to go. I don't know if I would be successful or not, but I am trying. I would do everything I can. So I was determined to improve my English in 2019. And it's almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop my story here. Originally I planned to explain why I love English so much, but eventually I ended up Sorry about my inability to focus with the topic. In short, learning English feels like living a parallel life in a parallel universe. I also watched a lot of TV series from the UK, like Doctor Who, so I borrow the concept like in a different universe, in a parallel world. That is like my feeling about learning English. It makes me feel like I'm having a second chance or having a second life, kind of like that. So yeah, I'll save the rest of the story in the next video. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day and have a good evening. I'll see you next time. Bye.